This is Mongoose Jake here. I want to show you the FSA Comet compact crank. This is the 386 2-ring model. These things are available on Amazon for around $160. I bought mine at my local bike shop for a bit less than that, and you can also find them for a little bit less if you're an online shopper, just simply by checking out some of the common bike part websites like Jensen USA or Blue Sky Cycling or Price Point, Cambria Bikes. Any of those, they'll regularly have them less expensive. Again, I just use Amazon as an average pricing guide for nationwide, so anybody can log on there and see what they can expect to pay for something. Now, your local bike shop may, again, vary widely because each bike shop has its own margin of profit, so I can't even begin to give you a range other than I've seen it anywhere from $120 to $180. But on Amazon, if you're an Amazon fanatic, they're $160 right now. These use a 27 and 39 tooth option. They use a very special 3-bolt, which I'll get close there. There's 1, 2, and the third bolt's actually hidden in behind the crank arm. That's an odd pattern, which basically means you're stuck using FSA's sprockets for the rest of your life if you keep these cranks. These are actually light versus the Originate subcompact that I just did in the video. These are 100 grams lighter because the cranks themselves are 852 grams and the BB that comes with it is 101 for a total of 953 grams versus the 1052. So these save you about 100 grams, which is, for those who aren't familiar with metric or pay attention to common bike weights at all, because most weights anymore are listed in grams except for large items, but that's about a quarter pound because there is 465 grams per pound, and if you factor in that plus a few other weight saving items, you can drop some weight off your bike quickly versus a cheaper stock setup with actually either this FSA setup or the Originate. Now, these I've been using for a good month. You can see the wear on the rings there. With most 3-ring cranks, if you looked at my big ring, it's very, very lightly used. And if you looked at what most people refer to as the granny gear, the smallest, you would see that it had not been used at all. Because there's only one trail I've ever rode anywhere where I used my granny gear, and there's only a few that I am able to get into a 44 tooth big ring, or even a 42 tooth for that matter. And with the Quality Derailleur, which you see this has SRAM X7, with the Quality Derailleur, a 2-ring crank shifts as quick as your rear derailleur does, because you can set your front derailleur tolerance is so tight that it shifts instantly, which, unlike a 3-ring crank, there's normally a delay between either your middle to big ring or your middle to granny gear shift if you're shifting in and out of the middle, or if you notice from your big to your middle or from your little to your middle, there's always one gear that's not just perfect. With 2-ring, you can eliminate that problem completely. Now, if you look at these, you'll see that the FSA Comet is a Slender Arm. It is a solid forged arm, according to FSA's website, and which that is fullspeedahead.com. And these cranks are quite stiff. Of course, with it being an integrated setup, you see the large axle there. On the non-drive side, you see that it clamps like most of these Mega Exo designs, the external BBs, clamps, and you have your end cap bolt which locks it on from the end, and 2 pinch bolts to securely clamp it onto the axle on the non-drive side. Now, these cranks, again, you can tell the one drawback is they use a 3-bolt design. That's only on the 386 model. They do have some compact cranks that do not use this because the Comet series has a wide variety of choices. So take a look on FSA's website, get the specs before you buy, because there is a number of options between both the 3 bolt And 4-bolt, the common 4-bolt is probably a good option. That's more common on your 3-ring cranks, but take a look on FSA's website for yourself before buying. That way you can decide what's best for you. I highly recommend these cranks. I've been running them for a month, and of course here in Kentucky in April, the late March, early April riding season, you're going to have to fight some mud here and there. Try not to damage trails, but you know, there's always still going to be those wet patches. And even in muddy conditions, these things have shifted great. I've noticed no flex, and I am a rider who's not a slim rider. I'm a former middle linebacker, so I am stockier build, and these have held up to my abuse. Of course, it is only a month test, but that's long enough to notice if there's any issues right away. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. I'll put a link to these specific models on FSA's website for your ease of research. But again, any questions, comments, leave them in the section below and I will get to them. Thanks.